There. This is John Barton from JB Cases. This video is going to be about prove that CTE, center to edge aiming, is better than ghostball. This question was posed by a forum user named Duckie. He goes by the name Greg. He plays out of Edgies in Milpitas, California. This is all information that he's given us, so if you want to go and talk to him about this and find out what he knows, go to Edgies in Milpitas. Anyway, Duckie is a big fan of using ghostball and specifically of training with a device called the Arrow. Now the Arrow is a little device like this out of paper with a 2 1/4 inch gap between the points here, so that basically, let me pull that up to the camera so you can see it. So basically with this device, you would, to train with it, you'll point the pointy part, the arrow part, you'll point towards yourself away from the pocket, lined up to the pocket, put the cue ball right inside the inside arrow, or the object ball, and this would be the ghost ball right here. So basically, this little point right here would be the ghost ball. Now, the idea behind this is that it trains you to see where the ghost ball center is for a shot. So for example, if you just roll right over that, it'll go right in the pocket. And that works. We all know that. All basic players know that that works. Now, does it work for all shots? Well, let's line it up and see. I don't have any problem with something like this as a training tool, except that you can't use it in a game, and I'll explain that in a moment. Well, let's get that lined up here. So here we are lined up. Let's see if that works here. Now this doesn't account for contact-induced throw, but let's see what happens. I'm going to try to roll this right over that spot, and if we're right, it should cut it right in. Well, I missed the whole ball. I don't know why. Let's try that again. Okay, one more time. We're lined up to the pocket. On a very thin cut here. I'm going to roll it right over this spot right here. That's what I'm aiming at. And I'm missing the entire ball right there. Now, folks, I don't know why I'm missing the whole ball. I mean, I'm aiming right at the spot. This isn't any trickery or anything. I invite Duckie to set up the same shots that I'm setting up right here. Let's set up one that's a little bit easier. And I'll roll right over that spot. Make sure I'm lined up here because I'm not. Okay, so there, I'm lined up. Let's try it again. We're going to roll right over this point right here. Center ball. Okay, so that works easy enough. Where else can we set this up? I'm trying to set this up at kind of a hard cut. I want to see what the limits are. Here we go again. Have I got it set up correctly? Okay, making sure. Okay, there we go. This time we're going to roll right over this spot right here. And once again, I missed the ball. Now, there's got to be a reason why I'm missing that ball right there. I'm not sure what it is. There's some sort of optical illusion going on, or something that's not allowing this device to work for that shot. Because I think that I'm fairly good at simply rolling over the spot. I'll go very slowly right here from the same angle, and I think we can see that I can roll right over the spot. So that shouldn't be a problem. What I think the problem is that using ghostball, even with a device, okay? Even with a device, you've got optical illusions happening. You can't really focus on one little point like that. It's impossible, I think. Even if you've got something to help you, the further you are away from the ball, the more distance, the sharper the angle, the harder it is to focus on one tiny little point right there, even with a device. So, let's take that device away and then tell me how you're going to focus on that. Or let's put it back, and let's put a little speck on there to represent the point. I want to show you this little piece of thread that I just cut out. So, where did I drop it already? Now I can't even find my speck on the floor that I just had, a little piece of thread. Well, that's a bummer. So anyway, I had a little speck on there. Here's a little piece of black thread, that's fine. Even though the red was more contrast. So here's a piece of black thread. Dang, I keep losing it. Okay, here we go. So here's a little speck of thread, if you can see that. I'm not sure. There you go. Dropped it again. So let's take that speck and put it on the table. And I'll even get a bigger piece here. So I'm going to take that speck and put it right on the table, right where the ghost ball should be for this shot. Okay, so now I've got a little speck of thread right there. Now, I can barely see that speck of thread as it is. It's right there, okay? But I can barely see it. The further back I move, or the more angle I get, I can now, it's even harder to see. Now watch this. If I go down on this ball, now it's even harder to see right there. So that's with a visible object marking the ghost ball center at exactly 2 1/4 inches from the center of the object ball. Now, folks, imagine what happens if my little speck is gone. Now what? Now I don't have a guide to use. I don't have anything. What have I got to do here? I've got to guess. I've got to get up here using my cue or something else and try to figure out some sort of spot that's about where the ghost ball is. And then I've got to try to hold on to that spot, bring it back here, and hope that I'm right, and hope that I'm close enough and I'm right enough to make that ball. So I almost got it that time. Now, I personally don't like shooting like that. And as a matter of fact, when I play pool, if I don't use CTE, which I do all the time now, so that point is moot. But if I don't use CTE or some kind of aiming system, and I just play strictly by feel, then all I'm doing right there is judging the fullness of the hit, trying to figure that out or something, or just feeling it, rather than I'm just jumping down on the ball and feeling it, rather than trying to figure out where the darn ghost ball is. Because to me, that's a fruitless exercise. Every shot that you have to take, you have to sit there and measure it up like that and try to figure out where the ghost ball is. I think that, frankly, I think it's impossible. Okay? I think a lot of people are better at it than other people. Some people are better at judging that and getting a pretty good feel for it, and other people are lousy at it. You know, and some people, even the ones that are good at it, don't get it right all the time, especially when the shots are critical or when they're hard. Now, here's what I like better. I like CTE better, and here's why. CTE allows me to use the balls and the edges and the centers of the balls to do my lining up. So I've got a concrete object right there, nothing out in space here. I've got a concrete object and a concrete object right here that I can use to line up. So for example, the center of this ball to the edge of this ball is one line that I use. That's my first orientation. So that puts me in this position right here. And then for this particular shot right here, I will use the edge of this ball to the center of that ball. That's my second orientation. I get to where I can see both lines. And then I just come into the shot, come in and pivot the center ball, and I'm right there. Now, let's go back to this shot back here. The one where I missed the ball completely earlier, trying to use the arrow. Without the arrow, I'm going to use center to edge to get my first orientation. but I see that that one's a little bit sharper. So if I use center to edge and then edge to something here, I don't have a center to edge here. So what I'm going to use here is edge to the A position, and I'm not going to use the center to edge line here. I've already used my center to edge to get my first orientation. Now I'm just going to forget about it because I'm in the right space, and I'm just going to focus on edge to A for this shot to get me oriented. And I believe that this will be the right one for this shot. And if it's not, then the next shot I'll take, I'll use 1/8 to an 8, and one of those two will be correct. So later on, when I play, I'll know, whenever I face this shot or something similar, I'll know which one is correct. So there you go. Now, that's why I like CTE better than Ghost Ball. There's almost, well, you know, with a practiced CTE user, there is no guessing. Once you practice these shots enough, there's no guessing. You know the key to every single shot that you face. You know it. Okay? There's going to be very, very rare times that you're going to face a shot where you don't know what the right aim is using CTE. There's no optical illusion here. CTE takes out all the illusion. It takes out all the fullness of the hit and everything like that. You just focus on which of the aim lines is the right one for that shot. Now, for practice, I like CTE better because if I use this thing right here, for every shot you practice, you got to do a whole setup. You got to set this up here, and then you got to make sure it's all lined up, and then you shoot it. You get over here and you shoot it, and then you make sure it's lined up again. And when you want to shoot another shot, you got to move it and walk around and do all this nonsense. Well, if you use CTE, for example, you can just throw these balls out anywhere and practice them. You do not have to get any special devices or anything like that because you're still using the balls. So for this shot, for example, center to edge. Again, I'm going to discard the center to edge line. I'm going to use edge to C on this one. Come in. I should be right good. Up. Cut it a little bit too thin. One more time. Center to edge to A. Now you just focus in. Okay. Pivot. And there we go. Now, nice smooth stroke should bring you right to the pocket. The danger in center to edge is you can get too cocky with it. Period. I mean, you can get way too cocky, and you can start to rush things and not focus. Let's say I want to shoot this 3 in the corner from here. Well, I know center to edge and edge to B works right there. Just come straight in. That should be right. Oh, pretty close. Let's try again. Center to edge to B. There we go. Now, you get shots like that, especially come game time, you might not have practiced that shot 200 times to know exactly how to hit it. Or it might be different. You know, it might be down here. How are you going to cut this ball in? You know, a lot of people don't bother setting this up with Ghost Ball and trying this shot. Let me try it and see if I can do it. Again, I think this is going to be edge to A here. So I got my center to edge, which orients me. Edge to A, come straight in. And there we go. So that's why I think that CTE is better than Ghost Ball. Because CTE is with you every single shot of every single game, every single practice session, all the time. You take it with you no matter where you go. You don't need any templates, you don't need any devices, you don't need any lasers or anything like that to learn this. All you need is your cue, the balls, a table, and your eyes and your brain. That's all. You don't need anything to help you to figure out where an otherwise invisible point is. So there you go, Duckie. You can stick with center to edge, or I'm sorry, you can stick with ghost ball and your arrow, or if you want to do yourself and your game a favor, you can buy Stan's DVD, or not even buy his DVD. Just watch the videos, free videos on YouTube, and teach yourself some CTE. And I think that you'll enjoy the game a lot better. I hope this answers your question. Thank you.